We got to get you kitted out, man. We got to get you some nods, man, some batteries, some good communication, a drone, probably a good, get you into some calibers that you probably want to take into the woods over there with you. So yeah,
Yeah,
man. So
for
we need to get
sure.
you. We need to get you over here, man. I can't send you into a dog man with a lighter and some hairspray. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's definitely
Yeah, it's
what
not going to
some.
work.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, man. I'm not saying you couldn't take him, Tommy. I'm just saying. I'm saying that
Oh,
it's his advantage, man. It's in in the woods, his territory. So yeah, man. It's not a fight I would want to go into. Yeah, man. That is
I
amazing,
do.
bro. That is amazing, bro.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to definitely say that's what it is, but that's just the information I've got and what I've experienced. It adds up, and it's like, but I do think that that is a supernatural.
No,
I'm not saying all dog men are supernatural, spiritual, but I think in this case it is
no, Tommy, I'm saying it.
possibly.
You got a dog man problem, bro. You
Yeah,
got a dog man problem, bro. You got something going on there, man. We're gonna have to take some investigating on it. And so it's also another thing too, man. That like there's a saying there's a saying that I tell people, right? I get before I did this podcast, man. I was big into UFOs and aliens and cryptids, and people would ask me questions, man. And there's one thing I've always would tell people is that you know going into the woods is not going to the park and walking the fountain park or whatever. Like, you got to be careful when you're in there because people are in there too, and people are dangerous, right? Like, and so, but
Mhm.
another thing that I tell people as well is that ignore Native American legends at your own cost. If the Native Americans have named a mountain Death Mountain and they tell you don't climb that mountain and you go climb that mountain, you're probably going to die, right? Because they it's not pick blackberries fun day Rainbow Mountain. You know what I'm saying? It's called it's Death
Mhm.
Mountain, right?
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
when I hear the stories, and so pulling the threads, man, when I was learning about the dog man and getting brought up to speed on it, and going back and hearing some of the Native American legends. But yeah, so when they talk about those legends with the Native Americans, they saw something, right? And they didn't call it a like a peacock man or a deer man. They called it a dog man, right? So like these aren't like new names that we're giving them, right? So the thing that you said that you encountered is real, and I can tell you is real because another thing is that if you want a good uh, dogman story, we did a podcast on it, the Joe Barger story where he shot it. Are you familiar with that story?
I believe so.
He
Yes.
shot and killed a
Yeah.
dogman in the Manatee National Forest up in Michigan, right? And it was turned out that it was a Department of Homeland Security asset that they were, and it leads credibility. It leads credibility to the that we're breeding these things or we're creating them and that we're sending them into these caves in these woods for a reason. Something's in there that they're sending in there to fight. And Joe Barger also was talking. Well, there's also a good series on the YouTube called The Missing 411. And if you take the Missing 411 map and you lay it over the United States of America, it's all the national forest, and all the national forests have these massive cave systems in it. So I mean, I would just be willing to bet if they keep that data in the UK and you took the UK where people go missing and you lay it down, there's something specific about that area that's
Yeah.
causing these you know types of activity. And the spiritual aspect to me is when your daughter said she saw something, right? It was she your
Mhm.
youngest daughter or your oldest daughter by chance?
That was my eldest.
Yeah,
So she
so
was 11 at the time.
so scientists have came out stating that children's development of their mind is in a state called theta. Have you ever heard about this? The theta vibrations, and it makes them more sensitive to. So that's how they learn to speak so quickly when they're kids. They're in the theta learning stages of their
Mhm.
lives, right? And kids see stuff we don't, man. They're just more tuned into it. And a dog or an animal definitely sees things that we are not tuned into, man. And so like your daughter seeing it, the
Yeah.
dog seeing it, you getting that feeling. the
I've got to
lore,
say as well.
the lore
So
behind it?
once,
Yeah.
yeah, once I found out about the devil dog,
Mhm.
I never heard that growling outside the window again after that,
Right.
which I find quite strange as well. Because
Yeah.
it was quite a regular thing for me to hear,
Mhm.
and it sort of became it was quite normal, to
Yeah.
be sitting there at night and hearing something growling outside.
Yeah.
And again, definitely not saying it was the devil,
It's
but
a devil dog. It's a devil dog.
it's weird. Yeah,
It's a devil dog, Tommy. Yeah, devil dog
it's
trying
weird.
to stick your head out there, right? Yeah, no, that's an amazing that's an amazing story, man. And like, wow. But yeah, you got you yeah, man, the laws of attraction too, bro. Like, you were wanting to see something, you could feel something, and then
Yeah,
and then it got you in that area to take a look at it. Yeah,
be
man.
careful what you wish.
Yeah, for sure, right? Yeah. So I mean, in the Appalachians over here, they have I've heard stories. When I joined the Navy, I left and I was on duty. I was 18 years old. I thought everybody grew up like I did, man, about Bigfoot stories and weird witches and like just weird shit, right? And people are like, man, where'd you grow up? And I'm like, where'd you grow up? And they're like, Ohio. And I'm like, y'all don't have that in Ohio? Like, no, we don't have that in Ohio. I was like, oh man, like that's we don't even get upset about that. Like that's just like people don't even that's nothing. You know what I'm saying, right? So yeah, man. And so that town, and you said you moved into that town, man. They're probably like, oh yeah, it's the devil dog back there. Just don't stay out of there on
Yeah,
every third Tuesday. Stay out of there, right? You can't do it.
yeah.
Yeah,
It is weird that we're experiencing that. When you think about the podcast that I do,
yeah,
it sounds mad, and I know people are going to be like, "Really? Like, are
nah,
you making more of it?" But that's honestly what it is. That's honestly what I've experienced here. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I've experienced other weird stuff in the house as well, like shadow figures and things like
yeah.
that, which I don't know if that's connected to it as well, possibly. But
So
yeah,
yeah,
weird.
no, you did a good job telling that story because I would have told it like I was in the woods and I felt something behind me and I turned and looked and there it was, 15 feet tall, covered in blood. Is that right?
Yeah.
I couldn't run. All I had was my pen. I had to fight.
Yeah,
Is that right? So yeah,
and my spray.
had my spray right. But no, there's a good thing. So a buddy of mine, his name is Scott. He has a good Instagram channel called At Mysterious Planet, right? And he is huge into Skinwalker Ranch, right? And we did an episode on that, and there is something to be said. You're not wrong about your theory about them being connected because there's something to be said about these ley lines or these energy lines, or there's something that we just don't really comprehend. We just can't understand what it is specifically about that area that would cause that area to be more super active. But Drewski was telling me a story about 2 weeks ago about how he had to. I'm going to leave the locations out. He had to help, him and his team had to help somebody because they moved into an area and something happened and they thought that they would be able to gift this creature something. And when they gifted it, man, like 5 other ones showed up. Crazy, weird stuff started happening, right? So like there's like there whatever it is that's going on, something's going on, whatever it is. There is definitely, it's not a one-off. There's definitely like a connection, right? Like people, like we were, people people see Bigfoots, they see orbs. People see shadow people, then all of a sudden poltergeist activities going on in their house or something like that, right? It's never, there's these little things that like have you seen the gnomes?
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.